Imagine waking up in the middle of the night drenched in sweat, your heart pounding in your chest, and then you realize it as all because you had a disturbing dream about some scary animal chasing you, or maybe even chasing after your child. As you slowly calm down and the adrenaline rush starts to subside, you suddenly remember that this is exactly how you felt the last time you had the same exact dream. Well, according to Schopenhauer, it's because deep down inside of you, there's a part of your subconscious mind that feeds off of your fear and anxiety. This is why it is so important to learn how to manage our emotions and not let them control us. Otherwise, we'll just end up wasting our lives away worrying about things that are completely pointless. This isn't easy to do, and it takes a lot of practice and self-discipline, but it's possible. And once we break free, we'll be able to live a life that's free from unnecessary suffering. Imagine how much more fulfilling your life would be if you weren't constantly worried or stressed out about things that didn't matter. You'd be able to enjoy the present moment and appreciate all of the good things in your life much more. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Also, let us know in the comments below what you think about Schopenhauer's idea that they thrive on your suffering. And if you're interested in learning more about Arthur Schopenhauer and his ideas, check out some other videos on our channel where we explore his philosophy in more detail. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. You'd also be able to pursue your goals and dreams without fear or hesitation, knowing that nothing could hold you back. If we can learn to stay calm and rational in difficult situations, we will be able to resist the will as attempts to make us suffer and instead focus on enjoying the present moment. We need to learn to identify our negative emotions and the thoughts that cause them. There are people who care about us and want to help us. If we reach out to our friends, family, or even strangers, we'll find that there's always someone willing to lend a listening ear or a helping hand. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Remember that even the strongest people have weaknesses and vulnerabilities. And it is in these moments of vulnerability that we can truly connect with others and build meaningful relationships. Once we've done that, we can start to challenge those thoughts and replace them with more positive and rational ones. This is a process that takes time and practice, but it's definitely worth it. There are also some practices that can help us to calm down and focus on the present moment, such as meditation and yoga. These practices have been around for centuries and have been proven to have many benefits for our mental and physical health. But unfortunately, most people don't realize this, and they end up giving into their emotions and letting the will win. When we do this, we allow ourselves to be controlled by our fears, worries, and desires, and we become like puppets dancing to the tune of the will. It's not just about our nightmares or our fears and worries. It's about our entire existence and the role we play in the grand scheme of things. So take some time today to reflect on your own life and the things that you give your power to. Are you allowing the will to control you and make you suffer unnecessarily? Or are you taking steps to break free and live a life that is full of joy and happiness? Remember that you're not alone in this. There are people who love you and want to help you. And there are also resources available to help you on your journey towards self-improvement and emotional well-being. With a little bit of effort and self-awareness, you can overcome the will as attempts to control you and create a life that is truly your own. This part of you doesn't want you to be happy and at peace, because then it would have nothing to feed on. Instead, it wants you to constantly worry and be afraid so that it can grow stronger. And as you get better at identifying and managing your emotions, you start to realize just how much of your life has been wasted worrying about things that never happened or could never happen. For example, maybe you have a presentation at work tomorrow and you're feeling nervous and anxious about it. But then you stop and think to yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I mess up? And the answer is nothing, really. Maybe I'll lose my job, but then I'll just find another one. And even if I end up not finding another job for a while, it's not the end of the world. I can always rely on my family and friends for support. By thinking this way, you start to calm down and realize that there's nothing to be afraid of. And that's exactly what they don't want you to do. In fact, every time you have this dream, the feelings are always the same. So what does this mean? These things provide a temporary escape from reality, but in the long run, they only make things worse and cause us to suffer even more. For example, alcohol may help us to forget our problems for a while, but eventually we'll run out of money and have to face them again. And by that time, our problems will seem even bigger than before. The same is true for social media. We may think that by scrolling through Instagram and seeing all of the perfect pictures of other people's lives, we'll feel better about our own lives. But in reality, it just makes us feel worse and more inadequate. Well, according to the famous philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, it means that deep down inside of us, there's something dark lurking within our subconscious mind, and it absolutely loves to see us suffer. But what exactly is going on here? And why would a renowned philosopher like Schopenhauer bring this up in his book? Well, it's actually quite simple. Everything is connected to a higher power, and everything we experience here on Earth has a deeper meaning behind it. This includes our thoughts, actions, and even our dreams. So, with that said, let's explore what Schopenhauer meant when he said they thrive on your suffering. First, we must understand that everything around us is interconnected and influenced by a higher power, which Schopenhauer referred to as the will. He believed that this will was a blind, irrational force that drives all living things and can be found everywhere around us. It's important to note that this will has no concept of good or evil, right or wrong, and it doesn't care about our individual happiness or suffering. The will simply is, and its only purpose is to perpetuate itself. Now, in order for the will to exist, there must also be something that opposes it, and this is where our suffering comes into play. You see, the will can only be manifested through opposition, just like a magnet needs both poles to work. Without one, it wouldn't exist. In other words, without our suffering, there could be no happiness. Our pain and pleasure, our hot and cold, our success and failure, all of these things are interconnected and dependent on each other. Now, let's go back to our example of having a nightmare about being chased. Why do you think you had this particular dream? You see, our suffering is like food for the will, and the more we feed it, the stronger it becomes. Another way that people give into the will and allow themselves to be controlled is by seeking comfort in things like alcohol, drugs, and social media. In order to break free from the will's control, we must first become aware of it and then learn how to manage our emotions effectively. So how can we start to do this? Well, the first step is to become more aware of our emotions and how they affect our everyday lives. But ultimately, the most important thing we can do is to remember that we're not alone in this. As you can see, Schopenhauer's idea that they thrive on your suffering has a much deeper meaning than you might have initially thought. So, with that said, thank you for watching this video.